I'll just turn off my mic now.
Sure. Hare Krishna. Okay, Hare Krishna. We're waiting just for a few moments before we begin. I think we got, is on Leelamrita? No, I think it must
Yes,
be.
Prabhu, you can go now. You can start whenever you're ready.
Okay, so we'll read a little bit from the Leelamrita. Srila Prabhupada's activities during the years 1968 through 1971 established him as a Shaktavesh avatar, and he fulfills the predictions of the scriptures. Prativate ache yata nagar adigram sarvatra prachar haibe mornam. In all the villages and towns all over the world, everywhere the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya will be preached. Even from the viewpoint of religious history, Prabhupada's preaching was a fulfillment of the mission of Lord Chaitanya, who had appeared in West Bengal about 500 years before Krishna consciousness came west. The Vedic literature and the Vaishnavacharyas concur that Lord Chaitanya is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself, appearing in this age as a pure devotee of the Lord. And just as Lord Krishna appeared with his plenary expansion in Lord Balaram, Lord Chaitanya appeared with Lord Balaram's incarnation for Kali Yuga, Lord Nityananda. Excuse me. Srila Prabhupada can be appreciated not only generally as the empowered representative of God, but specifically as the manifestation of Lord Nityananda. According to Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, Lord Krishna manifests himself to the souls of ordinary men through Lord Nityananda. The individual soul requires the help of God to realize God. This help comes by the causeless mercy of Lord Nityananda, who is therefore known as the original Guru. Although Lord Nityananda is the direct expansion of Lord Chaitanya, his pastime is to serve Lord Chaitanya by redeeming the fallen souls. I'll read a little more. Lord Nityananda and his representative, the spiritual master, do not alter the scriptures or the teachings of Lord Krishna, but make them more accessible and understandable. Lord Chaitanya commissioned Lord Nityananda to preach the holy name at everyone's door, and Lord Nityananda's exemplary mood of vigorous, compassionate preaching was also the mood of Srila Prabhupada. As Srila Prabhupada imparted this mood to his disciples, they in turn went out into the streets of cities around the world to distribute to everyone the mercy of the holy name. I think we'll stop there. If we can finish there, and we'll go on to the Srimad Bhagavatam. Shri Leelamrita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Very nice. This little section of the Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita maybe ties in a little bit to the discussion this morning from the Srimad Bhagavatam about Guru and how the Guru is representing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we'll talk more about that. Now you can't hear my kartals, but believe it or not, I'm playing them quite loud. And somehow the Zoom program must have a way of eliminating surrounding sounds, but which is quite interesting, amazing. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Vishnupada Paramahamsa Paribrajacharya Asto Tarasati Srimad His Divine Grace Abai Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Gaura Vaishnava Brinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sigaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Brinda Ki Jai CC Radha Krishna Gogopinath Shamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Mathura Brindavan Dham Ki Jai Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Ganga Maya Ki Jai Jamuna Maya Ki Jai Srimati Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Sri Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So welcome this morning to our Srimad Bhagavatam class. This morning, our plan is to cover a number of verses. One or two haven't been covered so far. I was given 10 and 11, and then I've been asked to also cover 7, 8, and 9 to bring us up to date to where we're supposed to be, which is wonderful. So I'm going to read just the Sanskrit for text 7, then I'm going to read the English translations for the other verses 8 and 9, and maybe even 10, and then I'll do the Sanskrit for the verse 11. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to so much Sanskrit because they're very long and there's no meter to them. So I think it would be more beneficial for everyone just to hear the English for the other verses. So we'll begin. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th Canto, Chapter 17, text number 7. Evam alyavach shikharan nishpatanti tato nuparatavega ketumalam abhichakshu praticham dishi saritpatim pravishati. Translation. The branch of the Ganges known as Chakshu falls onto the summit of Malyavan mountain and from there cascades onto the land of Ketumala Varsha. The Ganges flows incessantly through Kutamala Varsha and in this way also reaches the ocean of salt water in the west. English translation for text number 8. The branch of the Ganges known as Bhadra flows from the northern side of Mount Meru. Its waters fall onto the peaks of Komuda Mountain, Mount Nila, Shweta Mountain, and Shringavan Mountain in succession. Then it runs down into the province of Kuru, and after crossing through that land flows into the saltwater ocean in the north. Text number 9, translation English. Similarly, the branch of the Ganges known as Alakananda flows from the southern side of Brahmapuri, Brahmasadan, passing over the tops of mountains in various lands. It falls down with fierce force upon the peaks of the mountains Hemakuta and Himakuta. After inundating the tops of those mountains, the Ganges falls down onto the tract of land known as Bharatvarsha, which she also inundates. Then the Ganges flows into the ocean of salt water in the south. Persons who come to bathe in this river are fortunate. It is not very difficult for them to achieve with every step the results of performing great sacrifices like the Rajasuya and Ashvamedha Yagyas. Srila Prabhupada's purport. The place where the Ganges flows into the salt water of the Bay of Bengal is still known as Ganga Sagar, or the meeting place of the Ganges and the Bay of Bengal. On Makara Sankranti, in the month of January-February, thousands of people still go there to bathe, hoping to be liberated. That they can actually be liberated in this way is confirmed herein. For those who bathe in the Ganges at any time, the results of great sacrifices, like the Ashvamedha and Rajasuya Yagyas, are not at all difficult to achieve. Most people in India are still inclined to bathe in the Ganges, and there are many places where they can do so. At Prayag, Allahabad, many thousands of people gather during the month of January to bathe in the confluence of the Ganges and Jamuna. Excuse me. Afterward, many of them go to the confluence of the Bay of Bengal and the Ganges to take bath there. Thus, it is a special facility for all the people of India that they can bathe in the water of the Ganges at so many places of pilgrimage. So it might be worth mentioning before we go on to text 10. Let me see, text 10. Yeah, just a few comments. We visited the source of the Ganges some years back when we were living in India. And we went up to Gomukh, the mouth, or the source of the Ganges in this the mountains of the Himalayas. And it flows from the beginning coming out of the glacier of Gomukh. It starts to come through there and then goes down to Gangotri. Gangotri is a place which is, there's a temple there, but that temple is only opened a couple of months a year. In the summer season, it's inaccessible by then. So every year the pujaris will take the deity there out and back down further and then return again after the winter, which is very long lasting. Everything is snowbound and icebound. And then for a few months, 2 or 3 months max, um, that temple functions there at Gangotri. And it's amazing just when it says that falls down with fierce force upon the peaks of the mountains. So the experience in Gangotri is that there's a great force of the Ganga coming at that point in Gangotri. It's not that far from Gomukh, but the altitude comes down quite a bit in height. So it's very invigorating to see the Ganges at that early stage right there from Gomukh down to Gangotri. And when it's coming through there, it's crashing through. There's these huge rocks, massive. They're the size of a double-decker bus, if you can get your vision into that. Some huge big rocks, and the water's just crashing onto them and going off down. So that is just a little part of the whole description of how the Ganges descends. The descent of the river Ganges is the name of this chapter. And we heard from Pralananda Maharaj, who was visiting the other morning at New Varshana, pardon me. I can't remember the exact text. Maybe it was text. I can't remember. 4. Let me just see if I can quickly go. Let's see. Text 4, was it? Yes, it might have been. What was it? Yes. And it's something we'll discuss a little bit this morning. It says, translation for text 4. After purifying the 7 planets near Dhruvaloka, the pole star, the Ganges water is carried through the spaceways of the demigods in billions of celestial airplanes. Then it inundates the moon, Chandraloka, and finally reaches Lord Brahma's abode atop Mount Meru. So these descriptions are inconceivable for us to place. We struggle very much to try and place amazing aspects of creation into our tiny little Kali Yuga brain that we have, the brain substance. We are described by the Srimad Bhagavatam to be Manda Samando Matayo Mando Bhagya Upadrita. In this age of Kali, we have short lives. We are lazy, we are quarrelsome, we are misguided, we are unlucky, and always disturbed. So that's the situation we find ourselves in this age. And then when we hear of things, Srila Prabhupada used to give a very wonderful, simple, well, wonderful example. It was just about the frog in the well being told that there is another body of water which is far greater than this well that we're living in. So one frog went out of the well and traveled all the way to the Pacific or the Atlantic, whatever one you want to choose, ocean, and then returned to the well and tried to explain mm, the capacity of the ocean in comparison to the well. And then the frog who had never left the well was thinking, it's bigger than our well. Well, fair enough. Maybe, yeah, maybe. Is it big? Twice as big? Is it 4 times as big? Is it 10 times as? And in this way, he was trying to get a concept of the ocean, Pacific or Atlantic. And in this way, he was really stuck. He couldn't stretch his capacity very much. Oh, I just need to minimize my size there. It's just come up. I'm sitting looking at my own face, which I never like much. But I'm just going to see if it can go small. How do I do that? Minimize. Oh, I hope I don't blow it. I did. I blew it, so it's just completely gone. Oh,
Don't worry, Prabhu. I'll share the screen again. Sorry, I just thought to take this stop sharing while you're
okay. Oh no,
talking.
it's good. I'm not great at technology. I've got a tiny little square up in the corner with my face, which is okay. I don't mind. It's there. At least I can see that's functioning. So maybe. Oh no, it's gone. But that's. Oh gosh, I don't know. I've got AIs come up. Oh gosh, what happened? Oh no. I'm trying to. Oh gosh.
It's okay, Prabhu. We can see you. We can see you. You can continue on.
You can see me.
We
Okay.
can see you. Yeah, you can continue with your
Oh
talk.
boy. Okay. Sure. I don't want to look at what I'm looking at because it's an AI screen that's come up, and if I minimize it, I don't know what it'll do. Okay. Uh, Sorry, I'm just going to try something. No, I can't use that either. I don't know how to use home. Yep. Workplace. Okay, cancel. Cancel that. Nope. Okay, we'll just have to. Oh gosh, no, I've gone somewhere else. God, you touch anything on a screen. Um, can you? Oh boy. Okay, you can still see me.
Yes, yes, Prabhu, we can still see you.
All I can't see anything of this Zoom conference at all. It's really it's very strange. I'm looking at whatever. I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. Oh, can you load me up again or something? Or I don't know how to. You still see me? It's so strange. I'm looking at this stupid computer screen and
We
yeah.
can still see you, Prabhu. If you want to, if you've got your Bhagavatam there with you, we can just continue with the
Okay,
Bhagavatam.
I'll just
Yeah.
do that then. There's always something. Technology is not a lot of fun, especially when you don't know how to use it all. Yes, really strange. I'm sitting in front of a screen that I don't want to look at, and it's so hard to control the mind because you can see me, I can't see anyone, I can't see anything about what I'm supposed to be doing talking to a screen. It's really weird, very strange. Um, but I suppose I just ignore my eyes and just hear sound vibration. Wow. Okay. Okay, try and reset yourself. I'll reset myself. Press the reset button and reset. Okay. So we were talking about a frog in a well. I think that's what we were trying to do. And in this way, we were trying to understand. So I'll try and go back then to that text number 4, Prahlada Maharaj, and he was just in a nice way explaining how the descriptions are there from the Bhagavatam. The, after purifying the 7 planets of the near Dhruvaloka, the Ganges water is carried through the spaceways of the demigods. And we think, oh yeah, I got that. I got that. Planets near Dhruvaloka. Yeah, I think I've got that. Yeah, this, and our minds trying to conceive of what's being described. And we think, yeah, okay, Ganges water is carried through the spaceways of the demigods. Oh, yes. And then it says, in billions of celestial airplanes. And then you lose it. You think, billions of celestial airplanes. What is that? And so may be able to say, oh yeah, but we have no idea, we have no conception practically of these descriptions. And then it inundates the moon. So Maharaj, I think, was making point that we have to understand these things through Guru, through Shastra, through the Acharyas. And otherwise, there's no question of understanding. So back to Prabhupada's example of the frog in the well. The frog in the well who's not been to the ocean has to accept the authority of the person who's been there, that there is such a thing as this massive ocean way beyond your comprehension. And if he accepts that, his knowledge will be perfect. He may not be able to mentally appreciate it, he may not be able to understand it, but he will have perfect knowledge if he accepts that authority. So this is our option. One is to try to place all these things within the confines of our own limited ability to conceive of them and always be doubtful. Yashadeve parabhaktir yashadeve tataguru tashaite katitaryatra prakashanti mahatmana. It's explained in the, I think it's the Shvetashvara, is that? Shvetashvatara Upanishad 638. But only unto the great souls who have implicit faith, unflinching faith, in the spiritual master and the supreme personality of Godhead are all the imports of Vedic knowledge automatically revealed if we have that faith. And people say, oh, that's a lot of faith. Yes, you don't have faith. No, I don't have faith. I don't have faith in God. I don't have faith in God. I don't have faith in anything that I can't touch, taste, feel, see, like that. My senses, my sense perception. But that is actually a lie. The person who's speaking doesn't realize that they're telling a great lie. They have faith. They have faith that by pursuing the activities of this world, they will become happy. They think that by pursuing their desires and their own speculative concepts, ideas of life, that this will make them satisfied. Otherwise, they cannot do what they do. Everyone is impelled to act according to his faith. So it's a question of where we place our faith. Just like Prabhupada also gave a nice example. Is if you go to the barber, in the old days, you used to have something called an open razor. So it was a razor and it would be opened like a knife you have these days. No one's most likely seen an open razor. But anyway, it was a razor and it's in its little sheath and it opens up. And then the barber would shave, put all the soap on, and give you shave. If you go to India, you may still go there. It's hard to find them, I think, these days. But when you'd go to India, you shave the head with an open razor. So that requires great faith that the man's not a crazy person or having a having a bad day and he decides to slit your throat, or he sees that you've got a big wallet in your money pouch. So you require faith at every step. When we drive our car every day, you're going past shroom, shroom, and trucks. You're hoping that they've got their want of fitness and it's all okay. You don't think about it much, but you have faith. So at every step, faith is required. It's simply a question of where we place our faith. And if we are fortunate, very fortunate, Brahmanda Brahma Kona Bhagavanaji, Guru Krishna Prasad Pai Bhakti Lata Bija, if we are very fortunate in this huge, colossal universe, and I say that, and in the next second I can say, but it's only this huge, colossal universe is only one mustard seed in a bag, a huge sack of mustard seeds. It's only one tiny little universe in a sack, a huge, you can hardly think, mustard seeds in a huge sack. Get your head around that. Thousands, possibly millions of them in there. So that colossal universe is called Achincha Beta Abeta. It is simultaneously one and different. Simultaneously, it is colossal, and simultaneously, it is tiny like a mustard seed. We think we get our head round the descriptions in Shastra of Lord Brahma's life, and we think, yes, a day of Brahma. It is, I think, 1,000 times the cycle of the four yugas, and we think, yeah, I got that. I got that. But actually, we don't. We can't. Our brain is so small. Our capacity is so small. We have to accept it. He lives for billions of years, trillions, 311 trillion, like that. And you think, oh, yeah, I got that. But we have no idea. And that is only one breath of the great Mahavishnu we hear from Srimad Bhagavatam. The Lord lies down in his yoga nidra and he exhales. And from his exhalation come the different universes and they're manifest. And the living entities take up their activities from previous millennia and they begin again. It goes on. Utva Praliyate goes on again and again and again. Just like the seasons go on again and again. Isn't it? No, it's summer. The sun is shining and it's getting quite hot for little old New Zealand. But guess what? It won't last forever and it will become winter again. And again, summer and winter. This cyclic arrangement is going on. So going back to the verses, we have one other verse to connect to this, and hopefully it all will connect together. That's my idea. If I can pick up where I left off. Where did we leave off? The Senate's 17, the Senate, we did 9. It's all about people already did that. Okay, let's do that. We're going to finish the verses that we're going to cover today by going to text 10 and 11. So text 10, I'll read the English translation for text 10, and then we'll go on to the Sanskrit for text 11. English translation for text 10. Many other rivers, both big and small, flow from the top of Mount Meru. These rivers are like daughters of the mountain, and they flow to the various tracts of land in hundreds of branches. Text number 11. Read the Sanskrit. Tatrapi bharatam eva varsham karma chitram anyanyasta varshani svarginam punya shishopabhoga shtanani bomani svargapadani vyapadishanti. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Excuse me. The 9 Varshas, among the 9 Varshas, the tract of land known as Bharatvarsh is understood to be the field of fruitive activities. Learned scholars and saintly persons declare the other 8 Varshas to be meant for very highly elevated pious persons. After returning from the heavenly planets, they enjoy the remaining results of their pious activities in these 8 earthly varshas. I'm going to read that once more. Among the 9 varshas, the tract of land known as Bharatvarsha is understood to be the field of fruitive activities. Learned scholars kidding. Harry Ball, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Prabhu. Please go ahead.
I got something came up saying the host is requesting me to unmute.
Yes, you were just muted there for a second there. You're
Wow.
unmuted now.
Wow. So everything I said before was heard or unheard?
Uh, if you want to start the pulpit again, Prabhu. Sorry, I think you just a little bit of the pulpit was missed there.
Wow. Technology, ki jai. Back into technology again. It's great advancement of life. I remember Mahavishnu Swami would say like that. Oh boy. He wouldn't touch a computer because he was it's amazing. Um anyway, sorry. So back to the computers. What do I do now? So I go back to just speaking the purport, right? Is it? Did
Yes,
you
Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Apologies for that. Please go ahead with the pulpit.
okay, let's do that. Purport. Did you get the translation or the whole I have to do the translation, yes?
No, translation we got, Prabhu. Translation we
Okay,
got.
okay. Hopefully someone whoever's listening might be able to stay with us. Okay. blah, 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 blah. Purport. Okay. The heavenly places that have just been described are divided into three groups: the celestial heavenly planets, the heavenly places on earth, and the Bila heavenly places, which are found in the lower regions. All I can relate that to is we hear about the subterranean heavenly planets in different places, and most likely in other places in this fifth canto, and maybe somewhere else. So it seems that there's the heavenly places on earth, the different varshas are there, different tracts of land, and the Bila heavenly places, which are found in the lower regions. So I'm taking it that refers, but it doesn't really matter in the big scale of things, which is the case. Among these three classes of heavenly places, Boma, Svarga, Padini, the heavenly places on earth, are the 8 varshas other than Bharatvarsha. In Bhagavad Gita 9:21, Krishna says, Krishne punye marchalokam vishanti. When the persons living in the heavenly planets exhaust the results of their pious activities, they return to this earth. In this way, they are elevated to the heavenly planets and then they again fall to the earthly planets. This process is known as Brahmanda Brahmana, wandering up and down throughout the universes. Those who are intelligent, and that's who we're supposed to be, peak the awareness peaks up here. Those who are intelligent, oh, I would like to be that. In other words, those who have not lost their intelligence do not involve themselves in this process of wandering up and down. They take to the devotional service of the Lord so that they can ultimately penetrate the covering of this universe and enter the spiritual kingdom. Then they are situated in one of the planets known as Vaikuntha Loka, or still higher, Krishna Loka, Goloka Brindavan. A devotee is never caught in the process of being promoted to the heavenly planets and again coming down. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Erupi Brahmananda Brahmate Kona Bhagavana Jeev Guru Krishna Prasad Pai Bhakti Lata Bija. Among all the living entities wandering throughout the universe, one who is most fortunate comes in contact with a representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and thus gets the opportunity to execute devotional service. We cannot overemphasize the amazing how would we say that, gift that is available in this Kali Yuga, that we somehow or other can come in contact with the Lord's pure representative. Those who are sincerely seeking the favor of Krishna come in contact with a guru, a bona fide representative of Krishna. And I'm going to just take the, I'm going to mention, I'm going to, what's the word? I'm going to say something on that, make a comment. Those who are sincerely seeking the favor of Krishna come in contact with a guru, a bona fide representative of Krishna. Now, some may be searching for the mercy of a pure devotee is such that that mercy is given. And we hear that in the stories of Jagai and Madai, where Nityananda Prabhu and Lord Chaitanya, but Lord Chaitanya, he was ready to kill them for for damaging or attacking Nityananda Prabhu. Lord Nityananda's mercy was so great that he delivered both Jagai and Madai, who were not exactly searching for a spiritual master overtly, but so even if one is searching or one is not searching, if somehow or other, lava matra, we get a 11th of a second's association with a pure devotee, and that is available. It's again, it's a big subject, all of this. It's wonderful. But it's available. We think, oh, I didn't meet Srila Prabhupada. Yes, you can meet him right now in the Bhagavatam. You can meet all the acharyas and you can meet Krishna. Krishna is there in the Bhagavatam. It's said, Krishnestva Pagate, when Krishna returned, when he gave up this earthly manifestation of his pastimes, then the Srimad Bhagavatam is there where Krishna is fully present in the Bhagavatam. So we are able to get Krishna's association. People say it was tough enough for Arjuna. He had Krishna's association. We can also get Krishna's association, but it's a great science how to enter into that to the point where we can fully appreciate and get that realization that Krishna is fully present in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada is completely present. They asked Srila Prabhupada that who will lead the society after you leave? And Prabhupada said, I'll never leave. I'm fully present in my books. I'm fully present. If we enter in, and we need guidance to how to enter in. It's not you just open the pages. Yes, that's good, but we have to learn gradually more and more how to enter and how to develop humility, how to all the qualities we have to be working to develop so that we can be allowed to enter and gain this association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There's only one Godhead and there's only one Guru. Ultimately, Krishna is the Supreme. He's supreme in everything. And he's sending his representatives, the Guru, to guide us, to bring us back to him. I'll continue. The Mayavadis indulging in mental speculation and the karmis desiring the results of their actions cannot become gurus. And it's very interesting also the way this is written in the Bhagavatam. It's in italics. So every time the word guru is mentioned, it's there in italics. They cannot become gurus. So the Mayavadis cannot become gurus, and the karmis desiring results of their actions cannot become gurus. A guru, in italics, must be a direct representative of Krishna who distributes the instructions of Krishna without any change. That's the first qualification. Thus, only the most fortunate persons come in contact with the Guru. As confirmed in the Vedic literatures, Tadviganartam Sagarum Eva Vibhagachet. One has to search out a Guru to understand the affairs of the spiritual world. Srimad Bhagavatam also confirms this point. Tasmad Gurum Prapadyeta Jignashu Shreya Uttamam. One who is very interested in understanding the activities in the spiritual world must search out a guru. So one who is very interested. So if we're not very interested, we better become very interested. And then we'll be able to connect. We have to become very interested. Tivrena bhakti yogena. Tivrena means with intensity. So this practice of bhakti yoga has to be tivrena bhakti yogena, not just a casual. We don't become casual devotees, but we have to be 24 hours a day engaged in Krishna's service. Manmanabhava mad bhakto. Always think of me, become my devotee, bow down, offer obeisances, offer your worship to me. All that you do, all that you eat, all that you offer, all that you give away, all austerities you perform. Absorb your mind, always thinking of me. In this, so it's 24/7, every moment. Prabhupada I've mentioned many times. He said 24 hours a day. And the next sentence, he's in one small sentence, he says 24 hours a day. And then you think, wow. And then he says, 24 hours a day, every minute. Yeah, every minute. And then you think, well, okay, every minute. And he says, every second. That's Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So this is getting serious. And to get serious, we have to associate with people that are serious. And that's why the Bhagavatam's there, with all these stories of all these great personalities going through all the life quakes. You have earthquakes and we have life quakes. You fall from grace. There's so many great souls become snared by Maya and they fall into the illusory energy, but they pick themselves up and they become extra serious about spiritual life, knowing that is the only path. So I'll go back here and just see if we can pick up again. So thus only the most fortunate persons come in contact with the Guru, as confirmed in the Vedic literatures. Tadviganatam Sagurumeva Vibhagache. One has to search out a Guru to understand the affairs of the spiritual world. Bhagavatam also confirms this point. And one who is very interested in understanding the activities of the spiritual world must search out a Guru, a bona fide representative of Krishna, from all angles of vision. Therefore, the word Guru is especially meant for the bona fide representative of Krishna and no one else. Padma Purana states, Avaishnavo Guru na Syat. One who is not a Vaishnava or who is not a representative of Krishna cannot be a Guru. Even the most qualified Brahmana cannot become a Guru if he is not a representative of Krishna. Brahmanas are supposed to acquire 6 kinds of auspicious qualifications. They become very learned scholars, patana, and very qualified teachers, patana. They become expert in worshipping the Lord or the demigods, yagya, and they teach others how to execute this worship, yagna. They qualify themselves as bona fide persons to receive alms from others, pratigraha, and they distribute the wealth in charity, dana. Yet, even a Brahmana possessing these qualifications cannot become a guru unless he is the representative of Krishna, Guru Nasasyat. Vaishnava Sva Pacho Guru. But a Vaishnava, a bona fide representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu, can become a guru, even if he is Svapacha, a member of a family of dog eaters. Of the 3 divisions of heavenly planets, Swargaloka, Boma Swarga, is sometimes accepted as the tract of land in Bharatvarsha known as Kashmir. In this region, there are certainly good facilities for material sense enjoyment, but this is not the business of a pure transcendentalist. Rupa Goswami describes the engagement of a pure transcendentalist as follows. Anyabhilasita sunyam yana karma janavritam anukulyena krishnanu shilanam bhaktirutamam. Quote, one should render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord Krishna favorably and without desire for material profit or gain through fruit of activities or philosophical speculation. That is called pure devotional service. End quote. Those who fully engage in devotional service to Krishna just to please him are not interested in the 3 divisions of heavenly places, namely Divya Swarga, Boma Swarga, and Bila Swarga. So connecting this to Guru, what time? I've got to watch time. I'm just going to see if I can quickly capture this because fortunately yesterday was the disappearance of Srila Bhaktisaranta Saraswati Thakur. And we were reading an excerpt from one of his interviews in 1929. And it's written in the book called The Ray of Vishnu by Rupa Vilas Prabhu, who translated and wrote this book, Rupa Vilas Prabhu, about the life of Srila Bhaktisaranta Saraswati Thakur. And I found something quite amazing. Quite amazing because we're talking about personalities who are quite amazing. The real guru is very amazing. So this is an excerpt. I'm going to just something came to me, and I think it will connect. It's very hard to see how it connects, but let's see. The word that's connecting us at the moment is guru, and he was known as the Shrima Guru, the Lion Guru. He was hard as a thunderbolt and soft as a rose. And this is a little excerpt, just from one excerpt of many, many pastimes of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And he's speaking in this interview with a professor in 1929. The professor was Albert Southers of Ohio State University in 1929. And the author here, Rupa Vilas, says he made the following stunning analysis of Varnashram in response to a question on the caste system. I'm going to read this. Professor Southers, this is the professor asking Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, do you recognize caste distinctions? The caste Hindus look down upon the other classes with an eye of contempt and neglect. Do you too also do so? This is his question. And I'm just going to take one point out of what Saraswati Thakur, Srila Saraswati Thakur has said. And see if I can, he speaks in a very erudite way, so I'll see if I can grab this point that he's making. Um, Gosh, I'm racing against time here as well. That's starting to pressurize me. Uh, I just want to make the point that the acharyas, the guru, the great souls who are, maybe I may have to do this. I may just have to explain myself, my understanding of what I've read. Otherwise, it's going to be too hard to read it all in this short time. Um, it's just like, yeah, I heard this and I thought, I've never heard this in my whole devotional life. I've never heard it and read it, what Saraswati Thakur says. And then I was challenged and I was really empowered by it. I was inspired by it. I thought, yeah, well, that's great. It's great that I haven't heard this before. But then I can hear it by this by hearing from the great Acharya in our line. And it's very inspiring. And the point that he makes, he talks about Daiva, this whole section is about Daiva Vanashram. And he he speaks and he explains that in the ancient how is he the order of judgment Maurya the Vaishnava. Gosh, it's so tricky to pull this out of here without making it my thing. He's basically explaining that previously there was actually no need. Wait till you hear this. This is pretty far out. That there was no need for Varna ashram. Why? Because in the Satya Yuga, he doesn't say this, but he's explaining it through. You've got to read the whole article. He's in Satya Yuga, people lived for 100,000 years, and they were without irreligion. They were so exalted personalities. And this is the way the cycles I mentioned at the beginning, everything comes in cycles. So we have Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, then Kali Yuga. And when you're in Kali Yuga, anything we hear is related to our experience here in recent history over the last 50 or 100 or 200 years, whatever you can stretch your brain to accommodate. But when we're talking about God's manifestation, we get this idea of four castes and orders, Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra, that we think, oh yes, Shudra, yeah, he digs ditches and he works in a factory. That's a Shudra. There were no factories. There were no ditches being in the Satya Yuga. People were not of mundane, gross qualities. They were of divine qualities. Their only business was spiritual emancipation. So it was very, very interesting. He says, we find in the ancient history of India that formerly there was only, wait till you I'll read this part. We find in the ancient history of India that formerly there was only one caste, and that later on society became most scientifically divided into the castes of Brahmana, Kshatriya, etc. This is Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur speaking. According to disparity in the instinctive inclination for the service of Godhead. So gradually, as Satya Yuga goes on, this lessening of inclination, instinctive inclination to serve God gradually diminishes. And we see the Varnashram system starting to take its shape to scientifically structure society to keep it functioning properly according to the Vedic system. Anyway, as I'm apologize if I can't give you the whole thing. You might be able to find that in the book, The Ray of Vishnu. It's a whole article, and there's many other articles of these great souls who are speaking to help us understand that there's so much more for us to appreciate, to understand. And wait till I'll just mention as I close this. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhu Kabunoi Shravanadi Sudha Chitta Kariya Udai. In Chaitanya Charitamrita explains to us that every living entity has Krishna consciousness fully within their heart, but it is covered by the external energy. And simply by hearing from pure devotees, it can be uncovered. And that is what is going on. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come. All his representatives have come. And they're giving this Chetodarpana Marjanam, the process to cleanse the heart of all the coverings, to reveal our eternal relationship with the Supreme. And it is available to us if we take shelter of Sri Guru in the form of Lord Nityananda, in the form of Srila Haridas Thakur, Namacharya, not born in a Brahmana family. And then we have great Brahmana personalities born in Brahminical families. And so it is not dependent on this external feature, whether it's Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. And we're all Vaishnavas. And maybe I'll have to mention that in another one. But Prabhupada labored hard, our Srila Prabhupada, trying to explain it to the devotees. And they were saying, oh, yes, we understand, Prabhupada, you mean that there's a Sudra Brahmana, a Sudra Vaishnava, a Kshatriya Vaishnava, there's a Brahmana Vaishnava. And Prabhupada said, no, you're not understanding. There's only Vaishnava. If you're a Vaishnava, you're a Vaishnava. You may act in a certain way, in a certain capacity, but all Vaishnavas are, and that's what we're all attempting to be. So I hope I didn't confuse you too much today. It ties it all together that we are so blessed to have the opportunity to avail ourselves of the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead by the Guru, and all this will be revealed. And if anything we don't understand, like billions of um, uh, airplanes of the demigods bringing the Ganges, it's like, wow, fabulous, amazing, amazing technology. Talk about technology. It'd be good if we had some of that kind of technology going on. So I'm going to finish there. Please forgive me for my shortcomings. And yeah, I've not a clue. I can't see anything. So if anyone wants to, maybe I'll just finish there. I think that's what we'll do. If there's anyone wanting to give me some correction, or you feel free to do that for 1 minute. I think we're way over time. I'll be led by the moderator, Nitya Gopal, is it, Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask Prabhuji.
I know we've run out of time, kind of thing. So I just thought in case anyone had a burning sort of question or statement that they wanted to make that would Yep. Okay. So we waited, I think, enough. That's a reasonable time. It can't be too burning if anyone has anything. Okay, we'll end at that point. Thank you all very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Srila
Tigers.
Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Okay.
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः
Sindhudeva Cha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo
अनंत
Namaha.
कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय।
Jai Hari.
जय जय शिला प्रभु की जय।
Hare
शिला
Krishna
प्रभुपाद
Prabhu.
की जय।
Srila
हरि
Prabhupada.
हरि बोल।
Hari Hari.
Thank you very much. Thank you,
Thank
Prabhu.